I think usually when this kind of meeting with scientists, at the beginning I usually make clear this kind of meeting, two purpose. One purpose, simply human knowledge sort of expand and research more and more deeper, wider, like that. I think the science is actually sort of some kind of sort of method to find, to investigate the reality. I think tremendous sort of help to expand our knowledge. Now, as a result of meeting with a number of scientists, top scientists, their knowledge from their research work or investigation, the knowledge about matters, physical level, their knowledge really marvelous and still expand. Now about inner world, mind, emotion. These, in the scientific field, up to now, there are not much sort of concentrate in this sort of field. They are usually, in material or matters field, they can calculate, they can measurement, they can take measure like that. About mind, you cannot apply that method. So something different. So some radical scientists, even they deny existence of mind, just a brain. Now some top scientists begin to feel the movement of the brain. There may be some another sort of factor, third factor, which we may call mind. Now the Buddhist science about mind says, as my friend mentioned, there are many different levels of sort of mind or consciousness. So grosser level of consciousness entirely depend on our brain or neuron, these things. But more subtler is more independent, like that. So, for example, awakening state, most cases, our sensorial experience entirely depend on our brain. Then, mental level, also, I think, grosser level of mental sort of experience also is directly related with brain on these things. Then, one example, dreaming, another level of consciousness. Then, sensorial consciousness no longer working, but mental sort of consciousness. Then, deep sleep, further deeper. Then at the time, faint, like a coma, the usual sort of mental sort of mind not working. But still, the continuation of consciousness still there. So much more deeper, like that. So, now, and then last few years, I think about 1 decade, I think, some scientists already carry some project as an experiment, sort of pilot project experiment, give some training and some awareness about the different emotions, these things, also the different effects of different emotions, some sort of education, some explanation. Then let some selected or choose and volunteer sort of people. They carry some sort of practice with some knowledge. Before that, the practice start, they check blood pressure, amount of stress, these things. After 2-3 weeks, the training, some simple form of meditation or like training of mind, then again check blood pressure and these sort of the stress. So they found some change. So without touch brain, simply training mind, some effect. And in fact, you see, through training of mind, actually some change take place in brain. Because what was that, the word?
Plasticity.
Oh, that one. I do not know. Even I understand that meaning. Still, I cannot pronounce properly. Unless my tongue change, European tongue put here, or English tongue. Sometimes Japanese, when you speak English, right. little bit different.
You'll see it in a minute.
So now, among the scientists, brain specialists, or health science, now begin to pay some attention about emotion, about mind. So dealing with even physical illness, you see, they not neglect about mental state, calm mind, full of enthusiasm. Firstly, very sort of effective measure to prevent the illness. Then they sort of recover. What do we call? Recover. Also is the person, patient, full of enthusiasm. It's a much quicker recover like that. So they already, now the effect of mind or emotion now really obvious. So in any way, now in the scientific field, now about mind, about emotion, also now begin include. So there are experiment, there are research work. Now beyond the physical, what's the emotion, what's the relation, mind and brain, these things. So this is one purpose. Simply expand our knowledge about phenomena, external phenomena, internal phenomena, like that. This is one purpose. Now, second purpose, I often is telling people, the 20th century, I think in research, scientific field, highly sort of today develop with the help of new instrument. You see, their research ability much increasing, and then I think the scientific sort of knowledge, and also with help of the scientific sort of knowledge, then technology also is a much increase. So I think the level development of science and technology, according to that level, I think we humanity, should be much, much happier. Material facility, much improved. So simultaneously, mental level also should be much happier. But that is not certain. Material sort of facilities much improved. Life become much easier. But at the same time, more worry. More sort of they fear sometimes in modern society. And then even billionaire, very rich and also good name, quite influential, but as a person, very unhappy person. I met. This is some very rich and quite powerful, like some, you see, big university's chancellor. I had some occasion when we met, when we talked. After initial sort of exchange nice words, then eventually some of them express their problems inside. Sometimes they say their material facilities and modern education, or all these very high sort of standard, but deep inside some kind of fear and loneliness. And anyway, nowadays we notice among children, among young people, violence. Sometimes violence rate increasing, and also including suicide. I think Swedish people, I think social social welfare, very, very high. As a socialist country, wonderful. But suicide rate, very high, isn't it? Very high, I was told. Now Japan, also you see materially, industrialized as a nation, very modernized nation. The material economic condition, of course, recent years, as a sort of the whole global level is some crisis. So the Japanese economy, some difficulties there. On top of that, nature disaster also, you see, creates some problems. Now, however, the generally economic condition good. But I was told the suicide rate quite high. If wrong, please make correction. I was told, I just returned yesterday from Okinawa. I was told their crime rate is much less. Isn't it? Is it true? You noting that. Good. So in any way, you see, the material development alone now clearly shows no guarantee the sort of happy society. We social animals, in our life, friendship, friends, it's very essential. The friendship entirely based on trust, mutual trust. Trust depends on honest, truthful, transparent. Through that way, trust will come. With trust, genuine friendship. So money, sometimes instead of bring trust, but money brings more fear, more distrust. So now time come, we must find out others, whether there are some others or are other factors which ultimately the source of happy life. Up to now, I think we people just, you see, all our hope put on money. You become richer, or you will be happier life, or happier person. Now material itself showing us limitation of material value. So now time come, we have to include our inner world, not only money, not only material facility. The ultimate source, or at least one very important factor for inner peace is our inner value. Now the question of inner value. I usually say those are human affection, or another word, compassion or love. These are basically biological factor, not necessarily come from religious faith. We, everybody, as soon as we're born, you see, we already have the experience, the appreciation of mother's love, mother's affection. According to scientists, some medical scientists, they say after birth, next few weeks, simply mother's physical touch is the one very important factor to proper development of the child's brain. At that time, not much intelligence, but biological factor. That child, infant survey, infant, what to call?
Infant.
Infant. No idea who is that person. But biologically, the person show loves, the child feel happy, peace, safe. So that's our life started that way. So those people, I often is telling, now for example here, perhaps over 1,000 people here, outwardly everybody very smart. Old person, accordingly, your age, very smart. The young people also very smart. Everybody is very smart. But if we have some special mission to check deep inside what kind of feeling, I think, I'm quite sure, you see, those individuals who received maximum affection from our mother, I think deep inside, much sorrow, stable, calmer. Those people who at that age receive less affection from our mother, from our parent, I think deep inside, some sense of insecurity. So these are biological factors. So on the basis of now scientific finding, also now showing more calm mind, more healthy mind, your physical also automatically become more healthier. Too much irritation, anger, hatred. Actually, some scientists say eating our immune system. So now, in order to take, in order to take care about our physical health, we have to take care about our emotion. We cannot neglect about emotion part. There's some agitated mind, tranquilizer, or worse thing, alcohol, or drugs. Just temporary relief, not much effect. One day maybe I think Dr. Barry Carson or some other the specialist, one day they may find some method to remove some part of our brain, which usually you see emotion, you see comes. And if you see there is some kind of technology developed, remove these things, then everybody always 24 hours smile. That also not necessarily good. I think even you see things going very bad, but still smile. That's, I think, not normal. So you see, with full alert intelligence, no, this is good, this is bad, this is dangerous, this is safe. Meantime, some ability, the destructive the event will not disturb your mind. That we can do through training, through awareness about the world of the emotion. Better knowledge, some experience, then you can judge firstly your emotion, then you can some kind of control. Destructive emotion, restrain, reduce. Constructive emotion can increase. Other animals cannot do that. We only human being can do that. So our knowledge work together, brain, heart work together. Heart usually bring emotion. The brain usually give intelligence. So combine these two things. So therefore, now for well-being of humanity, if humanity's mental state calm, more compassionate than many other species of mammals also, then I think certainly I think less disturbances. Too much greed here. No sort of respect form of life. A lot of exploitation, animal. Or Japanese here, a lot of exploitation about the fish or these small worms like that. So therefore, I think we human beings more contented. Of course, basic necessities of facility we must, should have, must have. But then some contentment with knowing, oh, there's limitation. Material value, there's limitation in any way. But mental progress, no limitation. Because the quality based on matters, matter itself there is limitation. So quality also limited.
Characteristics.
So then the mind, no form. So no limitation. Through training, we can increase these certain sort of good quality based on mind, because mind formless. So there is possibility of infinite development. So usually we just opposite. Material field, in any way there is limitation, but we never content. Always want more and more and more. Internal value, actually we can extend indefinitely, but we usually contented. Okay. So now here, although I think 3,000-4,000 years, different religious tradition among the Egyptian belief, Egyptian civilization, some sort of belief there, and then India, I think at least 3,000-4,000 year old, some sort of tradition about spirituality, and also China as well. But then, now we are in 21st century. I think quite a big portion of humanity not much interest about religious faith. So these people, essentially non-believer, these also human beings, human brothers, sisters, they also need inner peace. And also these people, you see, because of too much negative, destructive emotion, a lot of problems, you see, happen. Therefore, we have to find ways and means to reach even non-believer. The training about mind, through training more compassionate mind, more sensible mind, more sensible. Through that way, try to become sensible human being. Everybody wants happy life. Do not want sort of problem. I think any person who in early morning, as soon as you wake up, you see wish, or today I should face more problem. I think nobody feel that. Instead, even those people whose life, a lot of problems, even these people, I think at the beginning of the day, at least they feel, oh, today should be less problem. Meantime, if we investigate thoroughly, the problem of the world, complete sort of eliminate problem, it is unrealistic. Problem will be there. Now what we can do is individual sort of mental state, in spite of some problem there, we can maintain peace of mind. So with peace of mind, we will not create more problem to others. So now that I think is possible. So without relying on religious faith, we have to find new or another way to educate people. Whether interest about religion or not, it is up to individual. Okay, remain non-believer, perfectly all right. But should be peaceful mind. Then they themselves also happier and will not create much problems. So that should be universally sort of acceptable. Religion, no matter how sort of wonderful religious faith, but will never be universal. So this problem is universally, we are facing universally. So the method to reduce this problem also should be universally acceptable. So that's now secular way. Secular ethics. When I use the word secular, some my friend, some Muslim and some Christian, they have some reservation, the word secular. One time, then Germans still divided. So one time in West Germany, on my talk, one minister, the West German government, he also came. And then before our talk, I just casually talk about any sort of moral ethics should be based on religious faith or not. And he told me, any sort of moral ethics must be based on religious faith. So that kind of sort of also the views there. So the secular means a little bit negative towards religious faith. However, Indian understanding about secular, that is not that way, not negative way. The 1,000 years in India, you see already different religious belief already there. Different school of thought already there. So among them, one school of thought, which we call Charvaka, the Sanskrit word, Charvaka, who denying any value of spirituality. So people usually call nihilism. Charvaka is nihilism. So only the day-to-day life, not next life, or no God, no heaven, nothing. So the other, so the Indian, so the philosophical school of thought, all criticize this view and condemn this view as a nihilism. However, people who hold this view refer Rishi. Rishi means sage. So the view criticize, but person who keep this view respect. So that's the meaning of secular. So according to Indian sort of understanding, what secular means, respect all religions, no preference this religion or that religion, and also respect non-believer. So that's the Indian understanding. So therefore, when India became independence, the India's constitution based on secularism, because India like multi-religious nation. Therefore, you see, you cannot say this religion is the nation's religion. You cannot say that. So it should be secular. And also, you see, that means respect non-believer. So when I sort of use the word secular according to Indian understanding, so not at all negative towards the religious belief. And then perhaps I think the French Revolution and Bolshevik Revolution, perhaps this is some sort of hint. Secular means against religion, but that not necessarily religious teaching itself, but rather religious institution. That's understandable. At that time, ruling Kasota class, or kings, or these and Kasota,
Aristocracy.
You see, these people usually received benefit, blessing from religious hierarchy. So in order to topple that existing sort of ruling class, people should develop sort of enthusiasm even against religious people or religious leader. So there might be some sort of I'll say some impact or some implication. The secularism against religious authority.
Maybe
That's
some reason.
some reason. That's understandable. Religion become dirty, so we have to topple that. But that does not mean actually against religion. That means who against human love, human compassion, forgiveness? No one disagree these are something bad. No. All these really value, isn't it? But religious institution corrupted religious institution even today. Even among Tibetans or as a Buddhist also, you see some corrupted institution there. Hopefully, Dalai Lama institution, I'm hoping not corrupted. So therefore, secular does not mean negative towards religion, but rather respect all religion. So my approach, promote these human value according secular basis, not touching with religious faith.
I understand.
So now here, the backbone of secular the secular way of approach to promote these secular ethics. Now, scientific finding is very, very essential, very useful, very helpful. So it's two purposes. So this kind of a meeting. Firstly, expand our knowledge, and secondly, say how to bring the common people's mind the importance of our inner values, scientific basis sort of reasons. That is more convincing. To some people say, oh, you should be a compassionate person because God will judge. Use God-fearing. I think many people say, oh, nonsense. I don't care. But if we show them more compassionate person, the blood pressure reduce, or stress reduce, much happier, then a spontaneous smile will come. Too much stress. I'm always like that. Even you see, with full of because of the stress here, some smile may be then diplomatic smile. Not much feeling. So diplomatic smile sometimes bring more fear, more suspicion, isn't it? Like that. So therefore, my main interest is it both, firstly, knowledge, academic field, and secondly, how to, our knowledge, how to bring some effect to the masses, and realize being more compassionate person is the best interest for their own well-being. That's all. So then, right from the beginning, some you say, are people, or the people from the Minded Life Institution, you see, they use the word dialogue between Buddhism and modern science. Right from the beginning, I made clear, this is wrong word. Not Buddhism, but science which mentioned in Buddhist literature. So we can say Buddhist science of mind and modern science. So science of mind which mentioned in Buddhist literature is actually science, not Buddhist religion. So usually I make a distinction. Science, Buddhist science, then Buddhist philosophy, then Buddhist religion. So Buddhist science, certainly, and then Buddhist philosophy, some sort of the philosophical views are universal. Some philosophical view related with Buddhist religion. So therefore, I usually make a distinction. Science, science which simply mentioned in Buddhist literature itself, this is something universal, academic subject, like that. So,
Your Holiness, thank you very much for those warm words of wisdom.
That's good.